Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I was just, saying how we connected, and I think why I had the second thought about it and woke up with it is that since I've been back, it was right before COVID that I got here. And since COVID hasn't been intense, I find that so many people, especially in my age range, which is early 60s, they're just kind of hunkered down. It's like I've asked people, hey, you want to go have a drink after work? No, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, So I've really realized that I really haven't had a circle of like-minded, energetically similar friends in my life.
Yeah.
And that I really need that big time.
Yeah. Anybody else relate to that? I do. Yeah. Well, awesome. I'm so thrilled you're here, of course, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So, what attracted you to be here today? And if you also have anything around self-love that you can tie that into, please share that too. And hi, Mark. Welcome.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
No problem.
I'll speak. I would say use the word attracted, and maybe attractive. I am very attracted to the sacred circle and the divine blueprint, a lot of for the same reasons as Christina was mentioning. And I find that I need constant reminders of self-love and self-care, and to have a group of people that I will get to know and that can remind me of those things is important in my life right now. So that's pretty much why I'm here. And thank you, Jen, for providing us this space.
Thank you for being part of it.
I can go ahead and go.
All right. Thanks,
So, I guess as an act of self-love, I'm getting back into spiritual communities. So I think community is really, is the theme that's coming out today, it looks like. And yeah, for me, that was just that. It was kind of at a time where it's like I'm ready to just set some new stuff of what am I wanting next. So the divine blueprint, of course, was attractive to me for that. And I always love being involved in anything that Jan's doing.
Thank you. And welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, there is kind of a theme, isn't there, today?
I just always want to be here. So that's always just something to look forward to be with this group of people and this spiritual group. I like it a lot.
Yeah. What do you think you like about it, Anne? I was always curious when I hear that kind of a statement. I go, oh yeah, and then I wonder later, what was it that
we talk about heart-centered and like-minded, and everybody is, and so I like what I observe and witness here from other people's examples of how the spirit is working in their lives. I find that uplifting and inspiring, and I do also need community, so this is one that I really enjoy being part of.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful.
So I'll just piggyback on what Anne said, because that's exactly how I feel too, is that having a community of like-minded people is so important to me too. And also listening to people's stories and their journeys helps me in my growth also, to know one thing, that I'm not alone. I'm not the only person that goes through stuff, but that we all do. And then also to feel comfortable in sharing things about myself that, of course, that I wouldn't just do out and just with a any old group of people. So that's important to me also.
Mhm, mhm. Yes.
I think it's that part of it is that we can so quickly go deep because we know this is a safe space and we can trust each other.
Mhm.
And so there are no strangers here, just friends we haven't met.
Dan, are you with us, or is it just me frozen?
No, Jan is frozen.
Trying to unfreeze.
You're back.
You were frozen for a minute there.
I know. I'm gonna make Mark, will you be my
I would love to be your co-host,
just
running in late. And I'll reiterate some of what I've been hearing, obviously, about community. And I love that stories are brought into that. Stories are, how humans learned for a very, very long time and taught. And it is still like such an important part of how we learn and how we can relate to each other. Maya Angelou, I know we all know the quote, but it's always good to be reminded, said that people will forget how you made them feel, but they'll forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And that's such an important part of it, is the feeling, and the feeling of safety, I think, is one of the, as Alan would call it, transformational promises of the sacred synchronicity circle. The whole idea of a circle of back in the old days with wagon circles was to create safety in the circle. So I think it's a natural draw for me and for everyone else.
Yeah, circle the wagons. That's us.
And light a fire to keep us safe through the night, and
Put a pot on
keep
the
watch.
stove of something yummy and come on round. Yeah, that's it. So here's my next question for our circle that will actually tie into the class as well. So if you could wave your magic wand, where's my magic wand? If you could wave your magic wand and recreate a situation or invent something newly, have a new aspect to your life between now and say the end of the year, take a minute and write something down if you brought a piece of paper, or just reflect on that for a moment. What would you want to create? Just think, anything is possible. You've got that magic wand. Are you going to clear something out of the way? Are you going to add something to become a different version of yourself? I had written this question down earlier. I kind of wrote it in a different way. I'll say what I put it in the chat. If you could have a complete and profound metamorphosis, what would that look like for you? So that's kind of an even a different way to look at the same question.
So I think I can go. It's interesting because I just realized that all of a sudden have I been wanting to just get into doing all these, getting back to the root of who I am, the spiritual side and all of that. And not only this class, another class that I enrolled in, and another one that I'm looking at that starts in November. And realize that it's about a month until my birthday. And it's around the time of year that I generally go ahead and start working on my new goals for the next year, because I don't do it at New Year's time. I do it at my birthday. And I'm going into a 9-year. So I guess that really what I'm looking for right now is just closing off and finishing whatever needs to be finished and starting anew in whatever the next phase is going to be and unveiling what that is.
Okay. Yeah, so wrapping up unfinished business, let's say, or old business.
Mm-hmm.
So be thinking, you don't have to speak it out loud right now, because you want to, in your journaling, to respond to this question, which can continue to unfold past today, of course, be looking for specifics. So you're going to want to write down specifically what that is. I've got a list over here. I've got like all these, unfinished business. One requires a little research, one is a follow-up, things like that. But write your list and put down exactly what that is, so that, the nature of these kind of things is that we need specifics.
Mm-hmm.
You need specifics. I
Yes.
don't, but I don't need from you, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah, thank you. And it's an interesting thing also, because the other class that I'm doing is on Julia Cameron's Prosperous Heart, and so having to do morning pages every day. So it's like journaling is part of it and bringing all this out.
Okay. Yeah, before I even knew I was going to do it, I bought a journal. It happens to be blue. And it says My Divine Blueprint. And I'm just starting to write in my journal from our class today. So I'm going to just have a nice little play thing that I can pick up to easily journal or refresh my memory, because life happens when we get off the calls. And it's nice to have something you can easily access. So, all right. Anybody else like to share something a complete and profound metamorphosis would look like for you? Megan?
Well, I think I'm learning. And what I'm learning, Jen, is what I think is a complete, profound metamorphosis is often an inflection point. It's like, oh, and I get that. And then 2 weeks later, there might be another one, and I might get that. But what was really important for me to hear today from you was to make a list, because moments are complete and perfect. Is life complete and perfect? I have no idea. So now I'm thinking I'm going to be continually evolving. I don't know whether there's ever a stop to that. So just the thought of being able to put into a list of something, for instance, that I learned yesterday, doesn't mean that it has a profound meaning to me, but it's not a stationary thing. It's something that I will grow into. So that gives me space to be and to grow, if that makes any sense.
Yes, very much so. Meaning we might have the thought today and write it on the list. And that was kind of like, I had to have that thought and be clear about it first and write it down, so that a part of me could start to emerge to show me the next place that I want to go to. That's how I heard it. Evolution. I mean, it's the evolving, we are evolving people, we're evolving our consciousness. And the other thing I was thinking about in your share and in the question is the word imagine. Like, so easy to give up on having an imagination. You know, to get in the situation of day to day, and this is how it is, and you know, the hamster wheel, that I forget to imagine that it could be any different, or that it could be, you know, something else could be possible.
I would like to add to that.
Yeah.
One is just going off your riff around imagine.
Mhm.
I was at a very important mastermind when I very first started my business with people in the transformation industry, a lot of them in the TLC, part Jack Canfield's group. And there was a woman there who was a master of marketing named Sam Horn. And do you know Sam Horn?
Oh yeah, she wrote the foreword on the book Attracting Perfect Customers,
No, that is so funny.
and coached me and Stacy back in the day around
I
that.
did not know that, Jan.
Yeah.
I did not know that. This is not a setup, but
Yeah.
Bob Proctor got up and stood up and said that what she shared was some of the most important marketing advice about this one word, about the word imagine. She said that, and I use it all the time. If you look at our sales page for the Soulful Leadership Retreat, the big thing is imagine if.
Mhm.
And as soon as you use that in your marketing, when you say imagine if whatever, imagine if you lost the weight you wanted to, imagine if you hit that goal you wanted to, imagine if whatever that is, when you spark that imagination, that creates a positive direction for whatever their problem is. And so it's just a very key, powerful piece of marketing. And it's so funny that, of course, it ties back to somebody that is in the forward of your book. That's cool. And then the other piece, the piece that really sparked me was the be, when Megan was talking about, you know, who she's being. And I wrote down the words when you asked the first question. I wrote down, who do I want to be? What do I want to do? And what do I want to have?
Mm.
And we all know that the saying be, do, have, but be is also an important part of, as most of you know, attracting perfect customers. Who do we get to be? And when you start from there, because most people think like, oh, what do I need to do to have this so that I can be happy? But when you can be happy first, and then you will know what to do so that you can have the things you want to have. For me, I want to be what I am being. It's not what I want, it's what I am being, is an expanded version of myself. And that's very much like what May was just saying. It's somewhat elusive because we're being it at the same time it's evolving right in front of us. So it's a fun ride to really be present. And that was one of the things I got from this the JVX event, was Jace telling me, he said, why haven't you hired me yet to make you a better speaker? And I said, there's lots of different reasons. It's nothing personal. And I said, I know you could teach me a lot, like a tactics of sales. And he goes, it's not even that. It's just about just being more present and centered, which is something Alan Davidson would say. And, you know, I can be all like kind of over the place. So that being present is what it is for me now. And being present realizes how like every present, it's like, oh, there it goes again. The present is slipped by again. So being an expanded version of myself, more centered and grounded. Doing is building the MetaMind exchange, which is something that I see as kind of what is my legacy, is what is like the way that I can fully be expressed in what I do. And in order to do that, and in the process of doing that, I will have a highly functioning team that will help to create freedom, ease, and joy. And what that looks like is that looks like being able to go to Toronto, travel. Our kids just got their passports, and Renee was planning to go to Europe for their first international travel. And we said that is just too much. But what Eden has wanted to do since she was 5 years old is to go to Toronto, Canada. So we think that's going to be our very first international travel. We have friends up there too.
Cool place.
Yes. Megan lives there, by the way.
Megan, are you in Toronto? No, you're near
Just
there.
north.
Well, that's close to where Russell and I are. I was born in Toronto.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mm.
And they also have a home in Massachusetts, but
Yeah,
yeah, right now you're in Toronto.
right.
And you will get a foreign flavor in Toronto. I remember that from way back when I was on a trip there.
I love Toronto. Yes. I had a friend that showed me around right around the time I met Renee 20 years ago. So yes, and of course that's where the Niagara Falls is. So I am full and complete. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, for me, it's interesting. I realized just asking that question is I've just been living day to day and not really dreaming much. So it's like I can always write a list of things I want, but it was feeling kind of hollow. And then as Megan started speaking and some others, I realized that for me, you know, I haven't been doing much spiritual practice or interconnecting with myself or my guides. And that's something that I actually have a real gift for, but I haven't been doing it. So I realized that for me, the foundation of any kind of dreaming again, and like, where am I at now? I'm at a very different phase in my life. I caretake my mom, who is, it's not like she's really sick, but she's not really well either. So, that's something I haven't, that has to weave in. So it's been more like, okay, go to work, take care of mom, cook, So the foundation for me is really getting that connection with myself, with my guides, and with other people that I feel very deeply resonant with. And that's where, from an authentic place at this moment in my life, where do I want to be? How do I want to feel? What do I want to be experiencing? What do I want to be doing?
You're in the right place. Buckle your seatbelt.
Yep.
Well, I hate to say this, but this is the completion of our Sacred Synchronicity Circle. It's actually been 30 minutes. I hate to say goodbye to those of you that joined.
Oh, shucks, I wanted to share. That's okay, though.
Well,
Next week.
I'm happy to give you another minute or so to share if you'd like, and then we'll wrap it up from there. How about that? Go ahead.
I'm happy to say that I am on the cusp of opening my Etsy shop called Joyful Serenity Gifts. There were so many times I've come here and said I don't have clarity, I don't have confidence, and now I found something that fits me just perfectly, that I use my creativity for, and a lot of what I've learned will be needed in marketing this. I'm planning to turn this from a hobby into a grand scale business. And I just got an idea from somebody yesterday about how to do that when I wasn't thinking that big yet. And so I am just delighted to share that with you.
Awesome, Anne. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Jan,
Yes, Tony.
and I wrote down, I've been thinking since you made that statement and asked us. I really have no idea what I'm going to do when I grow up. I have trouble conceiving of it, of anything. I've had so many failures in the last few years. It's driving me nuts. Like I feel like I'm being bounced around like a pinball machine all over. Don't know where to go.
Yeah. Well, maybe think about the Divine Blueprint class as a place to help you get centered and focused. And if you want to have a separate conversation with me about that, just reach out and we'll hop on the phone and chat about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you about that. Been in that place many times, so I can relate. Well, all right. I just wanted to, before everybody goes, not everybody, but just mention that Mark is having a wonderful event in February, I believe it is. And I'm already signed up and I already have my airplane ticket. So I am going this year. Nothing can stop me. And I'd love to share a room with anybody here or share a table at the event. So
And we have some special surprises actually for anybody that comes with Jan. And Jan, I can't even tell you about it until like at least 2 days from now, but I
okay.
very exciting news for you.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna bring you then, everybody.
Yeah, can't wait.
All right. Well, thanks, Anne and Tony and Mark for joining us, and we'll see you in November. We'll have a full hour on that one. It's the second Wednesday of the month, and we'll see you for sure at that one next month.
And I apologize for the interrupting the group call earlier.
I have
Yeah.
like had 3 calls already from other people, but I'm glad you're here and thanks for being here.
Thank you
Thanks,
both.
everybody. Many blessings. Bye-bye.
Nice to see you all.